Lately I've been on a kick playing through the classic Sonic games. After being disappointed time and time again from Sonic lately, I decided to check out the franchise's origins to see if he was ever good or if I was just pretending I liked him because I was too scared to admit I was wrong. But nope, I am thoroughly enjoying myself here and I wanted to share some opinions on this graveyard of a channel. My first video on this channel was a Sonic 1 video and its title, Sonic 1 is a miserable masterpiece, is a tad misleading. Also to clarify, I played through this entire game as Tails for the footage. All my writing is from the perspective of playing as Sonic. I've played through this game so many times, I just wanted to play as Tails once, give me a break. I used the Steam ports of the Genesis games before they were delisted, so it's pretty damn close to the original, it just has Tails in it. Now I could go on about the lesser known history of the game, or I could talk about the game first. Both things I think every person knows about, so I'm really stumped. Released in 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog was the final straw for Sega. A lackluster console release and multiple attempts at mascots to represent their brand and combat the titan that was Plumber Boy. After Sonic's release, Sega successfully won for about 2 years until they were back with the rest of us because Italian Man bit back hard and never looked back. But what happened? How did Sonic 1 take over the 90s and gaming industry? Now with me I have the Mega Drive box for the original Sonic 1 and I have the physical versions of every Genesis Sonic game and the Master System version of Sonic 1. Looking at the box here we can see that I not only have the Mega Drive version, not the Genesis version. I might collect the Genesis versions but Mega Drive just feels right given, well, I'm Australian. Aside from that we can see that well, Sonic's on the cover, and also how my copy is signed by Edward Messier. Yeah, that lowers the quality of my case. This bastard signed the artwork and not the plastic case, which is really annoying. I don't have the manual unfortunately, so we will just have to look at the back of the box here. Got some decent screenshots of some levels from the game here. There's a wall of text in at least 4 languages telling you about the game. Bust the video game speed barrier wide open with Sonic the Hedgehog lays by in a blur using the supersonic spin attack. Loop the loop by defying gravity. You can even spin around in a 360-degree rotating maze. You've never seen anything like it. I wonder what that supersonic spin attack is supposed to be. His jump? Because imagine reading that and going to play the game, and the supersonic spin attack that you've been hyped up is just the fucking jump button. Are you supposed to be blown away by that, or am I just being annoying? Last thing to look at before the game starts, my cart has a coffee stain. Or mold, I don't really know. Starting the game proper, we are just given the option to start the game, and no options, no extras, nothing. Play. Green Hill Zone. Right, starting with the positives, Green Hill is everything it says it is. It's green and has hills. Right, onto Marble Zone. Seriously though, Green Hill's a great opener. So great that many people, myself included, would exclusively play Green Hill as a kid and just reset the game when reaching Marble Zone. I'll explain why people did that when I get to it, but Green Hill Zone is the focus here. And it's a good time. Constant fast-moving gameplay with small interjections of platforming spread across the level, teaching the player everything they need to know in order to prepare them for the rest of the game's content. The music's nice, strong melody, matches the vibe, the sprite work is really good and looks like a livable place, and you can see why Sonic is here to protect it. Oh yeah, that's the story of the game. Given how I don't have the manual, I couldn't read about the story, but from what I remember, Dr. Robotnik invades the South Island with the goal to turn it into a robotic empire, led and controlled by him. Nature versus technology is a basic good versus evil, but what this game does is really cool. Throughout each level and location, they progressively get less and less natural, leading to this more man-made than completely Eggman Empire type environment. It's cool and shows the player what they are writing against. Okay, now I can talk about the moveset in this game. What's Sonic best known for? Running. So how does that really control? Playing as base Sonic, you have a very limited set of moves. You can jump, run, and roll. Seems limited now, but back then this must have felt like the craziest breath of fresh air compared to what the competition had to offer. Can't really comment too much on that. Your friend Logan12 here didn't really exist when this game came out, so I'll just assume it was huge and life-changing for a lot of people. Standing still for an extended period of time, you get to see a cute little animation of Sonic tapping his foot and looking at the player, showcasing more of his personality, which I really appreciate. On the title screen, you can kind of gather who Sonic is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what that is, because that's up to you to interpret. Since I'm playing as Tails, I'll explain his shtick in case you didn't already know. You'll see me use the spin dash occasionally, which is a move you do by holding down and pressing jump. Just gives an instant burst of speed. Look, this game is slow as balls, I couldn't not use it. You'll also see me fly. I use the fly sparingly in the footage, only using it as a glide or getting back up to a platforming section I had failed. Look, it was either that or I used the rewind feature, but aside from that, this is a pure run. Now, what else can we gather from the first second of gameplay? I may as well talk about the rings before even mentioning what a badnik is. These here are rings. What are rings? How did they get here? So these are Sonic's life force, a stand-in for health. With Sonic, it's incredibly forgiving and kind of makes every game piss easy because all you need is one ring and you'll be fine. Anytime you get hit, you drop all your rings, so just scramble to pick one back up and you're good to go. Some people understandably don't like how easy Sonic games are with this mechanic, and that's completely fair. I find myself mindlessly playing Sonic and not even noticing damage because it never affects you. Finally, talking about the game itself, now that I've gotten literally everything else out of the way. What, do you want me to talk about the edge leaning animations? I'll do it, don't test me. Green Hill and every other zone in this game are spread across 3 acts. Zones are locations, acts are the individual levels, if you must know. The level design in Green Hill is fast and fair. It also shows you what to expect moving forward and places the game will expand on in its mechanics. Sonic the Hedgehog is a response to Spaghetti Brothers after all, so keep that in mind. Sonic 1 is a platformer first and fast-paced game second, which is not hidden in the slightest. Completing a level with 50 or more rings nets you a chance in the secret zone. That's what it's called in this game, no special stages for you. So what's the deal with these secret zones? Well, throwing up if you look too closely at anything, but also collecting the 6 Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, that's right, the series didn't start with 7, it started with 6. Collecting all 6 of them nets you with fuck all except for the good ending, and it's nothing to write home about. You just get to see some flowers in the final cutscene, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. Upon beating the 3rd act, you will come across a surprise instead of the usual signpost. You're surprised with a boss against Dr. Robotnik. This will be the gameplay loop for all zones. First 2 acts you will just fly past a goalpost, and Act 3 will have you face a short boss fight. Checks up the gameplay and keeps it from being entirely repetitive. The bosses aren't too brain dead easy, but I can't really say that. I have played these games so many times, it's practically muscle memory. Avoid the swinging wrecking ball by hiding under platforms and keeping out of its way and getting in your hits whenever you have the chance. After throwing yourself a handful of times, you get to open the animal capsule, rescuing whatever critters lay inside. And that's a standard zone in Sonic 1. Overall, Green Hill Zone is a strong start to Sonic and a game in general. It shows everything he stands for and what makes him so different to other platformers in the first place. Moving on to the next zone, after the thrilling height of Green Hill, and yes, that is considered a thrilling height, lower your expectations. Marble Zone is a huge tonal change compared to Green Hill. From the lush, colourful, fast-paced environment, we are brought into this dull, purple, slow-moving platform and claustrophobic sections that last most of each act. And when you're not in those interior sections, the outside just spams badniks in the most random of places, and can leave you feeling annoyed because of how unfair and cheap it all feels. You hardly get to run around, and it's very restricting in its movement possibilities, which is what this level is designed to do. Teach you how to take things slow and platform. Honestly, I'm constantly conflicted about this stage. Some playthroughs I'm down for it, some others I'm completely against it. How do I feel about it this time? Do you really care? The music here is pretty solid again, and fits the environment really well. That's what Sonic's done best in the classic era. Given the limited resources available back then, the team had to really work hard on what they had access to do, and my god, they did it incredibly here. The sprite works throughout the game is rich and detailed. The music always matches the environments. The way the Sonic world feels so alive and unique is pretty impressive and usually looked over or not given as much appreciation. There's something I didn't mention about the core gameplay in Green Hill that I waited to mention here because I didn't want to spend forever in Green Hill. What I didn't mention was the video monitors. Upon breaking one, you will be rewarded with whatever is on the monitor. Break the ring monitor, you get 10 rings. You break the shield monitor, you get 1 hit invulnerability. Speed up shoes that increase the music speed and make Sonic a whole lot faster. The monitor with Sonic's face on it nets you an extra life, something you can attain by getting 100 rings. Finally, the invincibility monitor, which gives you full immunity from all enemies and spikes for a short while. Later Sonic games would expand on the monitors, but the ones here are useful, but you won't find yourself actively searching for any, except extra lives since this game can get a little cheap. Since this isn't a video going over each act in detail, the boss for this zone is another simple situation. The platform beneath Robotnik will be set ablaze shortly after he flies over it, so stay on the opposite platform and hit him from afar, or again, abuse invincibility frames. Marble Zone's a huge make or break for players, and it's pretty obvious why. It's nothing like Green Hill Zone at all, and is so abrupt in its theme and level design that it might catch someone off guard. Positive side of things, the zone isolated can be a fun time if played in the right condition. It just is not my pick for a Sonic level. Next up is the Spring Yard Zone, starting the trend of casino levels in the Sonic franchise, because if one thing is certain in this world, it's death and gambling in Sonic games. Something the game is not good at in the slightest is pacing and difficulty curve. What I mean by that is Marble Zone dragged on and on. The repetition in that zone was immense. It felt like I was repeating sections over and over. Spring Yard Zone is plagued with the same thing, and the difficulty curve comment is how this game's idea of difficulty is just randomly throwing enemies with no rhyme or reason. I swear, enemies would just appear in the most random of places that doesn't go with the level design, and it completely ruins any flow that the level had built up. This is just complaining, as I don't have much to say about this zone in general, really. The boss in this zone has Robotnik select the platform you're standing on, slam down, and rip that part of the floor out of the ground, playing Spleef with Sonic until you defeat him or fall in the void. Overall, it's the most forgettable zone in the game, which isn't saying too much. There is only 6 zones. If you want to be a dick, there's 8 counting the secret zone and final zone, which are listed as different zones, but do you want to be that guy? Labyrinth Zone's next in line, starting another series tradition of having water levels. You are deathly slow underwater. It's not reach for the gun and pull the trigger bad, it's just reach for the razor blade bad. The movement is perfect for drudging through water because yeah, it's floaty and slow. Who has fun doing that though? Better question, who enjoys exploring an Indiana Jones-like labyrinth with spike traps and several things designed to kill you that move faster than Sonic does, and not to mention the drowning mechanic? With the delayed control and horrific level design, Labyrinth has definitely stuck itself into the minds of many Sonic fans. Thankfully, every other game in the Genesis era understood how to make an at least decent water level after this game, because oh my god. I'm not complaining too much because I don't want to sound like a whiny child, that's pretty lame, and also because it's Labyrinth Zone. You know why it's bad. The music and vibe once again hits the nail on the head. The dread hearing that core melody, man. I think behind Green Hill Zone, this is the most memorable song in the game, and I don't know if it's because it's a good song or it's a iconic or horrid level, it just sticks in my mind. The boss in the zone is nothing special, just has you chasing Robotnik up a long stretch of vertical platforming. If you're fast enough, you can outpace the water. You don't have to beat Robotnik here, the level lets you break the capsule no matter what you do. I don't think anything changes if you beat him or not, so no strategy guide this time. Just take your time with your jumps and learn the timing. Yeah, Labyrinth sucks and I hope to never see it again. The 3-act slot was already way too much and thinking about it is miserable. On to the best zone hands down, Starlight Zone. Is that even an argument, by the way, that this is the best one? It's got everything right. Good music, strong level design, it's fast and got good platforming. Just everything you could ask for. But since it's fast and this game's horrid pacing, it ends almost as quick as it starts. I hardly remember any of the acts individually because of how quick it just stops. Not like that detracts from the zone itself and its quality, no, this one's strong and I love it here. The Batnik spam feels pretty toned down and feels actually fair, I'm shocked. Sonic levels are at their peak when designed like roller coasters. You need to have that build up going up the hill, and then you need to be coasting along with some dips to keep the speed up, and have that small pause where things get slow and bam, just like that you're at blazing speeds, flying by like nothing even matters. This level design philosophy feels so simple, but it's something that can be messed up so much easier. Designing a good Sonic stage is so much harder than one might think. A Sonic level can't be any platformer stage. Sonic levels are huge compared to your average platformer, and that's purely because of how much faster Sonic moves than the other guys. And it can't just be flat ground to run on, you need loops performing quick reaction tests to keep the player engaged. If you put Sonic in the red clothed man with tights games and vice versa, you would immediately see why their level designs do not lend a compliment to each other. Sonic literally flies over everything, and the short mustache man can't even get past the loop-to-loop. And that's not any disservice to either character in their level design. That's just what makes them unique from each other, and that makes them cool in their own ways. Starlight Zone is fucking awesome. The boss here is a unique one this time. You have to use seesaws to bounce bombs up at Robotnik, but I'm pretty sure you can just reach him from jumping at a certain angle. Almost there, and this time I won't drag this section out, I promise. Not really. Scrap Brain Zone is a final test of skill. With hardly any checkpoints, the player is constantly being tested and on the edge for traps and puzzles. I don't like this zone. Throwing all sorts of gimmicks and enemies, watching to see if you have been paying attention throughout the game or just fucking killing you. Yeah, I can't say that this level is testing your skill because there's only so much skill you can apply to certain things until it's just annoying. The music's pretty forgettable and I often forget if this zone is just an act in Starlight because it kind of blends in. But I remember that Starlight is fun, Scrap Brain is Scrap Brain. Upon beating Act 2, there's a cutscene where Robotnik jumps on a button and drops the floor beneath you, sending you to Labyrinth Zone. If you don't use the skip where you run under the moving platform, I am so sorry. All the issues that plague regular Labyrinth are the same and sometimes worse here. But with the shortcut, it kind of lessens the blow. It's like the developers knew that this was too much Labyrinth. No boss for that level because once you beat it and jump up one of the 30 red springs, why are there so many here? You make your way up to the final zone. It's not really a zone, it's just a one boss fight. The catch? 0 rings. We are getting serious now. This boss is piss easy. Robotnik will come out of one of the many pipes in the floor and ceiling, hit the one he is in, dodge the lasers that home in on you, don't get crushed. Don't do the glitch that resets his hit count to 255 and you'll be golden. Hit Robotnik one last time and don't jump off the platform by accident, and with that, you've beaten Sonic 1. There is still a lot to say. Sonic 1 is an interesting game with a lot of flaws, but that doesn't make it a bad game. I mean, there's a reason I play it so much, because it does things right, and those things it did right built the foundation for the series and only got better with time. Given how long this video is already, I don't feel right to overload anyone with any more autistic Sonic knowledge, but if you want to hear all the secrets and hidden content around Sonic 1 and its betas, debug, etc., please let me know. I could do a bonus video or something. If you want it, you tell me. I can talk about this franchise literally forever. I may have skimmed over some things or not gone in as much depth as I would have wanted to, but I said everything that I feel was needed to be said in this little review for a game that's incredibly important to a franchise that means more to me than you could imagine. But who really wants to hear that? I would love to do more reviews and content like this, so if you made it to the end, like and subscribe maybe, but I don't want to be that guy begging for validation, so do what you please. If everything goes according to my overarching Logan 12 plan, I'll have another video up on the 12th of every month at least, but that is not a promise. I've rambled plenty already. Again, let me know what you think of this kind of video. I love reading comments. Even if you make fun of me, I will read it. That stuff is hilarious. I am the man of steel when it comes to hate. I'm autistic and like Sonic. Your words do nothing to me. If you want more content from me, Logan12, check my channel. I've got some gameplay videos up that are all officially a year old. My hiatus lasted longer than expected. That's all from me. Goon on. That is not gonna be my outro, bro.